All right. Well, it is Friday afternoon at 5:30, and so we are going to get started. Today, we are going to be making 4 cards with the Otterly Amazing bundle. Everything in the kit has already been die cut for us, so all we're going to be doing primarily is the stamping. But I will go over, if you would like to get this card kit toward the end, I'll give you the information, but basically you're going to be using this host code and placing an order of $35 or more, and that will get you this kit by Tuesday, December 31st. If you would like the embellishments that we're going to use, please, for orders that are over $50, I will be sending you a package of the embellishments, which are going to be the Riverside Irregular Pearls, and these are really pretty. So you'll see those in just a few minutes. Just to go over a couple of things with you before we get started, this is the DSP. You will have all of your pieces die cut for you. Cut for you, not die cut. Some of them will be die cut, and you'll see those as we go along. But primarily, they will be cut for you, and everything will be ready in your kit. You'll just need to stamp it and assemble it, so you will need the stamp set. Unless you have a stamp set with otters in it or something comparable that you would like to use with this, which you can do that. So just to go over a couple of things with you, on starting January 2nd, every afternoon at 5:30, I am going to be releasing a pre-recorded video to kick off our celebration. So in case you don't know, we have a new mini catalog that will kick off on January 7th. So I am going to do a video each day from January 2nd through January 6th, and those will be released at 5:30 each afternoon Central Time. And it will feature one card that will have product in it from either the mini catalog or from the celebration catalog. And the nice thing about celebration is when your order is $60 or more, you will qualify for free product from Stampin' Up! And all that can be found in this celebration brochure. If you do not have a copy of these 2 catalogs and you would like one, please leave a comment below, and you can either send me a direct message and give me your mailing address, or you can leave a comment and tell me that you would like one, and I will get in touch with you and we can get a mailing address and I will ship that to you. So that is starting on January 2nd and goes through January 6th, and there will be an ordering special that week. I will be doing 1 card each of those 5 days, and at the end of those 5 days, any orders that you place beginning January 2nd, you will qualify for the kit of the 5 cards that I'm going to be putting together on those 5 days. So be watching on January 2nd for that. If you would like to sign up for my email list, please go to inkycreationsbylinda.com, and you can sign up for my email list, and then you will get all the information for all of these products as well as the specials that I'm doing. And then this particular month for January, my club is going to be using some of our brand new paper, which is the Wildflower birthday paper, and we are making these really pretty cards. These are going to be my club cards, and you can sign up for these from now through January 10th. And in order to get information of that, you can either go to my website and sign up for my email list, or you can go onto my website and go to the page that says Monthly Card Club, and it will give you the information to sign up for that. The other thing that I have going, but you need to do that by January 10th if you want the kit to make those cards. And there will be enough to make 2 of each one, so you'll have enough to make 8 cards. And then the next thing is I have a mystery box that I am offering this month. You can get information on that by also signing up for my email list. These are not the cards, but the cards are using this paper. Whoops, let me find, here we go. Here's an example of the paper. It is the Hearts of Elegance paper, which is really pretty. I think the cards that are in the mystery kit are a lot prettier than these even, but this paper is beautiful and definitely makes for some pretty cards. So that kit, you can sign up for that between now and January 7th. If you are not on my mailing list and you would like to be to get information, again, go to my website, sign up for my email list, and you will receive information for that. And then finally, if you would like to join my team, right now, the special is $99 plus tax, and you will select $125 of product. And again, on my website, there is a page for Join My Team, and you can see all of the benefits. Also, if you decide to join my team after you've seen this video and you would like these cards, I will send you this card kit, and you do not have to do anything special. So if you decide to do that, you will still receive those. So let's go ahead and get started on these cards that we're doing tonight. Our first one uses Lost Lagoon as our card base, and this one is really fun. I have pre-die cut a lot of this stuff so that you would not have to watch me do all of that. And so a lot of this is already done for us, which will make it go a little bit faster. And if you place an order of $35 or more, everything will be done for you and will be put in a kit just like this. So the first thing that we have is a piece of Lost Lagoon. And this is 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 5 1/2. And so we are just going to fold it in half, which it's already folded because that's how it fits in the envelope. And then we have a piece of Pretty Peacock, which is 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. So we're going to glue that down. If you're watching, please let us know where you're watching from. Hi, Teresa. Let's see. We're just going to put that in the center and just adhere that flat. And then next you have a piece of Designer Series paper, which is kind of a combination of Lost Lagoon with some Pretty Peacock in it. And we're going to adhere that to the center of the Pretty Peacock that we just put down. I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas and received everything you were hoping for. Ours was kind of quiet. My kids are grown, or our kids are grown, and so it was just my husband and I, which was kind of nice. One of them lives out of town, and the other one we got together with on Christmas Eve, and so it was kind of a quiet day, which was kind of nice. We actually went and saw a movie, which is always fun. Next, you're going to have it's a die cut from the Spotlight on Nature dies, and this is the white glimmer paper. And so we are going to use dimensionals to adhere that to this. And I'm just going to put a few because I want to leave room for other things to be kind of slid underneath some of this. So we're just going to kind of put this up a little bit and maybe to the right just a tad. And then you will have a die cut that comes from the Designer Series paper, and this is pre-die cut for you. And we are just going to adhere this to the center of our circle. So I am going to use some glue dots for that. We could probably use Stampin' Seal, but to be honest with you, it's over on the other desk. And I'm not even sure where, because I've been working on celebration cards today for our celebration kickoff. And so things are kind of all over the place today. It's kind of a hot mess in here. All right, so we're just going to put this right here. I love these otters. They're so cute. And then you will have a die cut log in your kit, and we are going to put that up on dimensionals just underneath these otters. And so we will use some of our small dimensionals. You can use whichever size you'd like. Sometimes I just want to use the little ones. All right, and we're just going to kind of put this underneath here so it looks like they are sitting behind the log. And then you will have a couple of die cut circles, and these all come from the Spotlight on Nature. There is one small one that is Pretty Peacock, another one that's a little more medium size that it's also Pretty Peacock, and then one that is also medium that is Lost Lagoon. And this one is actually embossed with the So Swirly embossing folder. And so we are going to just kind of stick these up in these areas. So I'm going to use glue dots to adhere these. Actually, on this one, I'm going to use a glue dot on one side and a dimensional on the other, because I'm going to put part of it on top of the white glimmer, what am I trying to say? The white glimmer circle, die cut circle. So let me get a small dimensional. And so we will just put this one kind of like this. And then on the other side, we're going to put this one kind of underneath the circle. So I do want to use glue dots on it. Sometimes I feel like my roll of glue dots ends up being really long. So that's when I start tearing it, because I don't want it to be all over the place. All right, and then we're just going to kind of slide this underneath here a little bit. There we go. And then you are going to have a piece of white scratch paper, and we're going to use Pretty Peacock ink on this, and we are going to stamp Love You Lots. Get my Pretty Peacock. Here we go. Set this off to the side. And then we will fussy cut this. I should have done this ahead of time so you wouldn't have to watch me fussy cut, but hopefully I can do it halfway fast and not take forever. Clean this. All right, and then we will just kind of close that so I don't stick my finger in it. I've done that a few times. We are just going to kind of cut around this. Do you guys like to fussy cut? It's not my favorite thing, but I really don't mind it. I just don't want to do a ton of it. But I think it looks really nice whenever people do a really good job. I'm kind of hurrying through this one so that you don't have to sit here and watch me all evening. Let's see if I can do this. One thing I've learned is to turn the paper and not the scissors, and it just kind of makes it a little easier to control. There we go. Wasn't too terrible. And then we are going to take this and just use dimensionals and pop this up on our Lost Lagoon embossed folder. So I think I'm going to do it like this. So let's just put a couple of small dimensionals on this. Here we go. And then I'm going to use dimensionals and kind of pop this up a little bit so that it gives it just a little bit more height. And then I will use a glue dot on the other side. All right, so we're just going to kind of position this like this. And then the other thing that you're going to get in your kit are some of the die cut old olive glimmer leaves and branches. And so we are going to use those just to kind of add some extra embellishment onto the side of our otters. So let's see, let me turn these over and throw some glue dots on here. We'll just put a couple on each one. So we will do one that's kind of sticking up kind of on top of the other branches that are already there, and then these will just add a little more dimension to it. If you've ever spent any kind of time, I've never been where otters are hanging out, but I did grow up where we had a lot of marsh and things like that, and everything always has a lot of dimension. Nothing's ever flat. So it's kind of fun to add a little bit more dimension to some of this. All right, we'll just put one on these since they're little. If I was making this to send someone, I would probably put a few more glue dots on this, but since we're just demoing it so that you can duplicate this, we will do it this way. So this one, we'll have it coming out just a little bit that way. And then on the other one, we'll have it coming out in the other direction. Here we go. All right. And then we are going to use our Riverside Irregular Pearls. These are really pretty. If you are not familiar with these, or if you have not seen them, they come in 3 different shades. I don't know how well you can see this, but they come in 3 different shades, and it's like a white, kind of a off-white or pearl color, and then this blue, almost like a turquoise, and they have a shimmer on them that's really pretty. So we're just going to sprinkle some of these around. So we'll put one there. We'll put one of the smaller ones over here on our pretty peacock circle. And then we'll add another medium one over here. And then maybe a couple more at the bottom. I just think these are really kind of pretty and just add something extra to your card. We'll do one over here. So there we go. And on this one, I did not use any of the twine, but you could also make a bow and add that if you wanted to. Oh, and we forgot to do the inside. So on the inside, you will receive a piece of white cardstock. And what we're going to do with that is we are going to stamp one of these cute otters on this. I'm going to grab some scratch paper. As you can tell, this is left over from Christmas time. And I'm going to use pecan pie ink. And we're going to stamp this little otter. He's like super cute, and he's just kind of chilling. So we're just going to kind of stamp him. Whoops, and I got ink all over my block. Just make sure not to rock it. We're just going to kind of stamp him down like that. Clean that off. And then I'm going to use this other, let's see, we're going to use Lost Lagoon to stamp some of these small little leaves on here that are really cute. We'll just do one right here in the corner, and then that'll be it for that. So there you go. So now we're just going to glue this onto the inside of our card. And then you can write whatever message you would like to write on there. But I think this paper is just super adorable. And then the stamp set just really kind of knocks it out of the park. Here we go. Try to get that straight. All right. So here we go. So here is card number 1. Really fun. All right. Let's do our next set of cards. And by the way, if you leave a comment about these cards on our post on either Facebook, and this will also be uploaded to YouTube, I will be doing a drawing later. And for the people that comment or share, and if you share, you need to tell me that you shared, because depending on your privacy settings, I can't always tell who actually shared. And whoever wins the drawing, I will send these cards to you that we make today. So here we go. Here is our second one. It has a pretty peacock card base, and it's just 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And inside of your little packet, you can tell everything's already die cut for you and ready for you to just stamp and assemble. So let's see. The first thing, I think this goes on the inside, so we're going to set that off to the side. So the first thing that we are going to do is we have a piece of designer, and this card is going to be landscape and not portrait. So the first thing we're going to do, we have a piece of DSP that is 4 by 5 1/4, and so we are going to adhere that to the front. I love the colors in this. It's just kind of wintry, but yet at the same time, it's just really pretty. All right, the next thing we're going to do, you're going to have a smaller piece of basic white in here. And this piece, let me get my measurements. Whoops. This piece is 3 3/4 by 2.5. And we are going to use a blending brush and add some shading onto the bottom of this. So we are going to use the Lost Lagoon ink and a blending brush and just do some shading. And so it doesn't have to be a ton, but just a little bit to kind of give it some color and kind of mix in with the white maybe a little bit so that it's not just stark white. Here we go. And just on the bottom half. Okie doke. So now what we're going to do is we are going to adhere this to the middle of our card front, like this. So let's go ahead and we're just going to glue this flat. Let me close that up so I don't have Lost Lagoon fingers. And we are going to just put that into the center of our card. Whoops. There we go. So one nice thing about the green glue is it does give you a little bit of forgiveness whenever it comes to moving it around a little if it lands in the wrong spot. Okay, and then the other stamping that we're going to do is you're going to have a piece of Lost Lagoon, and we're going to use Pretty Peacock ink on that. And we are going to stamp We Are Cute Together. And you will see why in a minute, because these otters are super adorable. And you're just going to stamp that in the middle. There you go. And then we are going to angle the ends of this. So it is going to be a little longer than what you need. But I did that so that if you needed to, I don't know. I just do it so that you're not pressured to, you know, stamp it exactly in the middle, and you're going to be kicking yourself if you didn't, or have to find another piece of cardstock. So this way it gives you a little bit of extra room. So before we adhere that down, we're going to take, you will have a die cut set of otters here, and we are going to put these kind of in the center. You can tell on this one, since this was my demo one, there were only so many on the page. So the others that I cut out for our card kits, they have the entire tail and backside of this other otter over here. But on this one, I knew that I was going to be covering it up with some other stuff. So I just went ahead and used it, even though it was on the edge of the page. And hopefully it won't make that big of a difference. But I'm going to use dimensionals to put this down, because I'm going to tuck in some leaves around this, and so I'm only going to put a couple of dimensionals for that reason, because I want to leave room for us to tuck other stuff in. So we are just going to kind of put these guys in the center. Here we go. And then we are going to attach our We're Cute Together just to where the bottom covers up that one. So I'm going to use a small dimensional on either side of this. And then I'll probably do a glue dot in the middle. Here we go. Let's grab a glue dot. Try and make sure I get this in the center. There we go. That's a little better. All right. And then you're going to have quite a few of these leaves and stuff. And so I am just going to throw some glue dots on the back of these. And then we are going to put these kind of behind and around our otters. So let's see. You could probably use adhesive sheets if you wanted to on these. I did not. Sometimes I like having the glue dots because I feel like it gives it a little bit more dimension than using an adhesive sheet, because it ends up being so flat. So it's really just kind of whatever effect that you want to have. So let's see. We'll put these on first, and then we'll start putting these on the card. this one up here. And you might even want to trim some of these a little bit just to give it different heights, because you can certainly do that as well. In fact, I think on my original example, I kind of did that. So we might go ahead and trim this one just a little. There we go. And then we'll take, let's do a few more glue dots. Okay, and I'm going to trim this one just a little bit also, just to give us some extra room and stuff. So I'm going to put this one, actually I'm going to trim this one just a little bit more. There we go. There we go. That looks a little better. I like that height a little bit better. And then we'll put some of these smaller ones kind of as filler on the inside. So let's do that. Put that one there. And then we'll do maybe a darker green one. There we go. So we'll kind of stick this guy right here. And then we'll do our other green just to kind of layer these a little bit and kind of change some of the colors up. I think on this one, I'm going to trim it as well. And then we will kind of stick this one to where it's going that way. Whoops, I think I need one more glue dot on this one. So let's do that. There we go. And then that way we can kind of cover up that the rest of him is cut off by the edge of the paper. And then let's just do a couple more to give it some balance. And then I think we can start to embellish this with our really pretty pearls. So let's put one up here. And we'll kind of probably make this one go. Whoops, we'll cut off a little bit of this. Maybe not a lot, but a little. There we go. And then we'll do these other two on here, and then we'll start decorating with our pearls. So we will put one here, and then one more right here. So we will just kind of, you can just put these wherever you think is the best spot. I'm just kind of filling in some of the blank white spots so that it's not quite so white. And we will go ahead and get these and put these in the trash so that we have room. There we go. All right, so now we're going to use our pretty pearls. And we are going to use the blue ones this time, just to kind of give some added interest to this. And this is where, if you didn't have a lot of your white spots filled up, you can use these to do that, which is always kind of fun. But I think these are just so pretty. And then we're going to use this really pretty Lost Lagoon soft cording, and we're going to tie a bow with this. and we will put a bow on here. So this cording is pretty easy to tie a bow with. It's not overly complicated, and it's soft and pliable and just makes it really easy to make bows with it, which is kind of nice. All right, so then we will just kind of cut this off. Trim this one. There we go. We'll use a glue dot and adhere this to our card. So then we are going to take this and just kind of put it right here. So here is card number 2. Oh, and on the inside, what did I do on the inside? I think all I did was I stamped a couple, and we'll use the Lost Lagoon again, a couple of these little branches that we used on the first card, and I just put these in the corners. You can put, you know, as much or as little as you would like, but I just thought these were kind of cute, and they just gave it a little added touch without it being too much. So we'll go ahead and use some adhesive and adhere that to the inside of the card. One thing I try to do is on the piece where there's going to be writing, I try not to put a ton of glue because I don't want it to look all streaky once you have all that glue down. And like in this case, I just have glue on the 4 sides, and there's not really any in the middle. So here is card number 2. We're cute together. How fun. All right. So our next card is going to be, here we go, making sure I don't get these mixed up. Our next card is going to be kind of a fun fold, which is kind of fun to put together. So this will be die cut and scored for you, and it will have all of your stuff ready for you to go. So, and usually whenever I pack these, anything that goes on the inside, I put it on the inside, and then everything that's on top goes on the top. So that's usually, and the other thing that I try to do is if it's scrap for you to stamp on, if it is a comparable size to something else, then I usually will put a sticky note with the word scrap so that you know which one is for the dimensions of the card and which one is for scrap, and then you're going to die cut. So we will just set this off to the side. So let's do the inside first. We are going to take our DSP, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and we are going to adhere this to the inside. So I am just going to use some glue. By the way, I did not give you the dimensions of this card, but they are 4 1/4 by 8, and then you score it at 5 1/2. So those are the dimensions of this card. So let's just stick some glue back here and adhere this to the inside. These fish are just super pretty. They're just kind of colorful, and they make you think of going to the Caribbean or somewhere like that and going snorkeling, which is always fun. All right, and then you are going to have a piece of white for the inside, and this piece of white is 3 inches by 4 inches. Okay, so before you adhere this down, we're going to stamp some fish on here in Calypso Coral. So let's get our Calypso Coral ink. Here we go. And then we will get our fish. Here we go. I was like, where did my fish go? And then we are just going to stamp some of these as if they are going across the top. You can make them go in either direction. I think on your card, these are going in opposite directions on the inside. Let me show you. So you have some that are going this way, and then you have some that are going this way. So there's not a right or wrong on this. So you can go whichever direction you would like. In our case, we're just going to go like this and just kind of have them go. And what's nice about this stamp is it doesn't have to be, it kind of curves so they can be going in different patterns. It doesn't have to be super straight, which is nice. All right, so that was Calypso Coral that we used for that. So now we are going to adhere this to the inside of our card. All right, and then for the front piece, you will have a piece that is not in here. I thought I had this in here. I do not. So we need a piece to go right here. So let me grab that out of our packet and cut that really quick. So that piece is going to be 2 1/4 by 4. So 2 1/4. I've already got that part. So let me just cut off 4 inches. There we go. And we are going to adhere that to the front part of our card. I think the waves in this are just so pretty. They're just real natural looking, which is kind of nice. All right, you're also going to have a piece of Night of Navy, which is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And so we are going to adhere this, but you want to do this to where it covers up the piece of white that is on the inside. And you want to make sure to only put glue on this one side because you don't want it to attach to the back side of this. So let's put some glue on that one side. And then we will put this on here. There we go. And just kind of let that sit for a second. And then while that's doing that, we could go ahead and put our DSP on here. This DSP is 4 by 3, so we can go ahead and glue that on here real quick. And then we're going to do a little bit of stamping. All right, so in your kit, you will have 2 pieces of white. One of them, which is the one that's going to go in the center right here, is 2 by 3 1/4, and then you will have a scratch piece that will say scrap, okay? So before we put this on here, I want to go ahead and do some stamping on this, and then this is the piece that we will do stamping on to die cut or to fussy cut it out if you don't have the dies. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to use Pecan Pie ink. And we are going to stamp, actually, we are going to use Early Espresso instead, because I want it to be a little bit darker than Pecan Pie. All right, so we are going to use Pecan Pie, and stamp your Otterly Amazing in the upper left-hand corner of this 2 by 3 1/4 inch piece of white. Checking my measurements to make sure I'm telling you the right one, and that's correct. So we're just going to stamp your Otterly Amazing. So cute. I just love the stamps in this. They're just really fun and really cute. All right, now we're going to use those same fish that we used a minute ago, and we're going to stamp some of those in Calypso Coral. And we are going to have these coming from the upper right-hand corner down, and we only need to go down to where like the Otterly Amazing is. We don't need to go any further than that because that's going to be covered up. So let's do this and get our fish stamp. Here we go. And this time, I do want the direction to be going that way. So I'm going to start here in the corner and then do one more set that just kind of comes down in that direction. And do that. All right, and then finally on this piece, we are going to use Balmy Blue, and we are going to stamp some bubbles. So you have this adorable bubble stamp in here, which is really fun. And we're just going to stamp some cute little bubbles going up. All right, and that was in Balmy Blue ink. All right. So now, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this, and then we'll talk about the scratch piece of paper and what you're going to do with it. So we're going to just glue this flat onto this DSP that's already here. So let me get some glue. You could just leave this like this because that's super adorable too. But it's kind of fun to add these extra little elements to it. So we are going to put this in the center. And it's kind of cute because see how the fish almost look like they go off of the DSP and onto your paper, which is kind of fun. All right. And then you are going to use this scratch paper and you are going to stamp, and I'm going to save you some time, one of these large, the 2 otters with the leaves and stuff on top of them, and then you're going to use blends and color that. But I have saved us some time, and I did that ahead of time. So let me just kind of tell you what blends that I used. So for their bodies, I used Pecan Pie, and I did both dark and light. And then for like underneath their neck and their bellies, I used Crumb Cake, and I used just dark and light. And then for the leaves over here and over here, for the ones that go straight up, that are more like succulents, I used, let me make sure I tell you the right one. I used Dark Old Olive. And then for the ones that are more leafy, I used, I just don't remember if it's dark or light. I used Dark Lemon Lime Twist. So that is how I got that. So we are going to put these on here and use dimensionals to put them on there. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. And that's what you will use the scrap paper for, is to use Memento black ink and then use your blends to color. I tell you, I love using our blends. They're so pretty, and they just have such a nice effect once you've finished, and especially once you let them dry. They just really, I don't know if you can see this super well, but hopefully you can. But I'll have some photos that I'll put out there as well. But they just really kind of, I don't know, just kind of finish it off and make it really nice. All right. Okay, so now we're going to use some of our pearls again, and we are going to decorate the front of this. So again, I'm going to use the blue ones on this because I just think they really kind of bring out some of these colors. So I'm going to use that one there. And let's do a smaller one, maybe right here. And then we'll do one more. It's a little bit larger. We'll do it like up in here. All right. And then for our bow, we're going to use our cording again. So this is the Lost Lagoon soft cording that's really cute. Whoops. Here we go. And I just tied a single bow. You could make it bigger than that, or you could make it a double bow if you wanted. I just did a single for this because I kind of felt like the coloring and the colors in the paper were so pretty. I didn't really want to take away from that. But you can put whatever you would like on it since it's your card. So, and then I'm just going to use a glue dot and adhere that down, right down here, kind of in the corner. Okay, so this is card number 3. And here's the inside. How fun. All right, so now let's do card number 4. And this one is a little bit simpler, and a lot of the stuff is already done for you. So let me grab my measurements so that I don't tell you something incorrect. So we are going to start out with a piece of Calypso Coral. And this is, again, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 5 1/4. Or, I'm sorry, 4 1/4. Maybe we'll just burnish that really good. All right, and then you will have, again, whenever you pull this out of here, what's underneath the back is usually what goes on the inside. So these 2 pieces will go on the inside. So we'll just kind of put those inside of there and tuck them in for the moment. All right, so you are going to have a piece of designer series paper that is really pretty. It's all of these different color stones. So it's got Pebbled Path, the Early Espresso, almost like a gray granite or something like that to go along with the Pebbled Path. And then your Calypso Coral, it's got Lost Lagoon in it, as well as Pretty Peacock, just all these pretty colors. And this piece is 4 1/4 by 5.5. So we're going to cover up the entire front of the cardstock base, or the card front. So let's grab some glue. And we are going to glue that to the front of our card. How many times have you done that and you thought, oops, is it upside down? I tried not to do that, but every now and then it still happens. All right, and then we have a piece of the Pretty Peacock glimmer paper. This is actually on the last chance list right now, but it's so pretty. I just couldn't help but use it on this paper. So this is actually 3 1/4 by 4.5. If for some reason, I did not check today, but if for some reason today it is sold out and you wish you had some, if you order $35 or more using that host code, then you will have it included in your card kit, because I do have enough to put in the card kits. All right, so then we're just going to glue that into the middle of this card front. Okay. And then Next, make sure this stays down. There we go. All right, and then next you will have a piece of Lost Lagoon that has been embossed with the So Swirly embossing folder, and we are going to glue this into the center of the Pretty Peacock Glimmer. So let's just adhere that down. You could use dimensionals on some of this if you wanted to. I'm going to use dimensionals on a couple of other things, so I didn't want it to be so thick that you're ending up paying extra money in postage. But obviously, if it's a card that you're just going to hand somebody, you're probably not going to care about that as much. And then now you're going to have two circles. You're going to have one with the petal pink glimmer paper. This comes in the same package as the Pretty Peacock. And I think this is called the 3-color glimmer paper, if I remember correctly. But that's the one that was on the last chance list. And then this is just punched with a 2-inch punch. And then we have a basic white circle that is punched with the 1 3/4. And on this one, we are going to stamp Your Otterly Amazing in Early Espresso. So let me make sure I have the right stamp. I do. Let's get some ink. So again, we're going to use the Early Espresso. And in the center of that circle, we are going to stamp Your Otterly Amazing, which is really fun. All right, so now once that's stamped, we're going to just glue this into the center of our petal pink circle. So let's just throw some adhesive on that. And then I am going to use dimensionals to put the entire thing on the front of this card. All right. There we go. All right, so now we'll throw some dimensionals back here. Here we go. I was looking for my big dimensionals. I couldn't find them for a second. All right, so now we are just going to put this kind of in the upper left-hand corner and press that down. And then you will have an otter that has been die cut for you and put in your packet or in your kit. And we are going to use dimensionals and just put him in the bottom right corner of the card front. So let's put some dimensionals on him. Do one more kind of down here. He's so cute. All right, and then the other thing that you're going to have in your kit are some of the Pretty Peacock glitter fish that were die cut out for you. And I'm just going to kind of pull these out. I am going to use glue dots on these to put these onto our card front. And we're just going to kind of scatter these around so you can put these wherever you think is best. And I'm just going to kind of put some on there, and then you are welcome to either put them in the same place or change them around. So I am going to do, let's do our big fish kind of right here to where he's swimming toward the otter. And then we will put a couple of the medium ones on the top as well as the bottom. So we'll do one up here. These are just really cute. They kind of remind me of the fish at night that light up. I'm not really sure what you call those because I'm not a very good science person, but I know they're really pretty whenever you see them. So then we'll do another one. We'll have him kind of going in the same direction. And then we have this little bitty fish, so we'll go ahead and use him too. I tried to give you a variety of sizes, just so you could use as many or as few as you wanted. So let's see if I can get this off my finger and onto the card. And try to get him in a, you know, where he's swimming sideways and not upside down or something funky like that. All right, so then we'll do a couple more. We'll have these going in the other direction, like, you know, on the bottom, they're swimming in one direction. On the top, they're swimming in another. Here we go. Do one more down here. That way, everything's in a group of 3, which just feels right. So we'll have this one kind of going this direction. All right. So there we go. So now I'm going to use this soft cording, and I'm actually going to tie a double bow on this one just because, whoops, we have plenty of it and it's really easy to work with, so it's kind of nice. So we'll go ahead and tie a double bow with this just to give it a little bit more substantial bow. There we go. Then we'll kind of cut these off. Whoops. Sorry about that. All right. So then we will go ahead. This is kind of a little bit more bulky bow, but I feel like we can do that on this card. Let's get a glue dot. There we go. And we will just kind of put this down in the corner. Because if somebody's amazing, they need to get a bigger bow, right? And then on the inside, I did not do any stamping on the inside. But what we're going to do is put down our white cardstock with our piece of DSP. So our white cardstock is 5 by 3 3/4. And then our DSP is 3 3/4 by 3/4 of an inch. And that way, it doesn't take up too much of it, but it adds a little something color-wise to the inside, which is always kind of fun. All right, so let's just put some glue on here. Fun. All right, so this is card number 4. So let me know what you think. Let me know which one is your favorite. Again, I'll pull all of these out. If you would like to be in the drawing to receive these 4 cards, then please make a comment below. If you're going to share, please let me know that you shared, because otherwise I won't know unless you tell me. I'm trying to make sure you can see these. And then, here we go, move this up a little bit. There we go. And then, also, if you would like to get the kit to make these 4 cards, please place an order by Tuesday, December 31st for $35 or more, and you will get a kit to make all of this. It will include everything you see here with the exception of the embellishments. And if you would like the embellishments, if your order is $50 or more, then I will also give you a full package of the Riverside Irregular Pearls, but it will have all of them on the sheet and not the ones, it won't have any missing like this pack does. So, and again, I will be sending out an email giving us this information, and this will also be uploaded to YouTube. But if you would like to be added to my email list, then please go to inkycreationsbylinda.com and you can sign up for my email list. And I appreciate you watching, whether it's live or on the replay. And I will see you on January 2nd whenever we begin our celebration kickoff, which should be a lot of fun. There are some really cute cards that I'm going to show you, and we'll make one card each night, and it'll be at 5:30 starting January 2nd. And I will give you information starting January 2nd on how you can get a kit to make the 5 cards that I'm going to be showing you. So I hope you have a wonderful evening and a fantastic weekend. And thank you again for joining me, and I will see you in a few days. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.